Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Welcome to Facebook Live. It is the 17th of August, year 2022. Hope everyone is doing well and getting ready for it. In a couple of months, it almost will be fall weather. So hopefully everyone is going to enjoy their fall weather. Let me welcome our panel. We have April here, who is a psychic and has quite a few modalities of healing under her belt, like massage therapy, is it Reiki, etc. It's a long list, so I won't go into it. Good evening, April. And then we have Caesar, who has joined us, who is a channel and a spiritual teacher. Good evening, Caesar. And then we have Michelle, who has joined us, part of our core group of meditators. Good evening, Michelle. And Patricia is here. Good evening, Patricia. So on one of the Facebook groups, April, and I wanted to actually revisit, we've talked about it before, but the question was asked, what are the limiting beliefs around money? And I would say it's not only money, it's around health as well. Since we were just talking about healing right before we joined the Facebook Live. So if you all want to go into what are our limiting beliefs? I know we've discussed it before, but it has been a while. So what are our limiting beliefs around money and health?
Oh, they're numerous. There are, numerous different types of limiting beliefs. What I can say is that the core is that not feeling worthy. That's at the core. So it can be because I don't deserve, or I shouldn't have good things, or being afraid of failure, being afraid of success. Many people are actually much more afraid of success than failure. It can be so many different types of limiting beliefs. And those, again, like we've talked, those come from your childhood. They come from your environment most of the time. There are a few people that I've seen a limiting belief develop in teenager, maybe early 20s. There's other people that I've seen a limiting belief develop, later in life. Perhaps they were married for several years and then got a divorce, and then this belief would develop. But for most people, those beliefs develop between the age 0 and 7. But at the core is not feeling worthy, not feeling that you deserve. Those are the primary limiting beliefs. Those beliefs hide in the background. And so this is where Joe Dispenza talks about this a lot. Your conscious mind says, I'm here, I'm in a chair, I'm talking. But your subconscious mind holds all of your garbage, all of your limiting beliefs, and it is the one that drives the bus. It's the one that so if you're not consciously aware of what you're doing, what you're thinking, it will just secretly take over. And the perfect example is, I cannot count how many times I was driving to work and all of a sudden kind of woke up and was like, oh, I passed that road already? How did I get here? How did I do that? Like, I'm on autopilot. That's the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind has taken over, and it's driving. So there are other types of limiting beliefs, but for the most part, the core is not deserving and not being worthy. And in order to change those, you have to be conscious of them. So you have to become aware of your thinking. You have to become aware of your thoughts, and then you have to stop the thoughts or change them. It takes some effort to do that. And then the same thing about health. So money and health are linked as far as limiting beliefs, but health takes a little bit of a difference to where it becomes much more about emotional than money does. Money has an emotional element, but when we're talking health, it can switch up. So for example, how can I explain this? It's much more emotional as far as, have you been dealing with negative emotions for a long time? Have you been holding those emotions a long time? Have you not let any of them go? Have you not healed any of them? And then it's also, so illness will, trying to figure out how I wanted to explain the difference here. Illness is more about holding on to the emotions instead of letting go of them and healing them. And when you have, you can become sick, for example, if you have given up. Money's not exactly the same. So if I've given up on trying, I've given up on life, and I have those heavy depressive emotions, I can manifest an illness. And I cannot get well if I'm not enjoying and loving life, and I'm not expressing that joy and expressing that love, and I'm staying in a negative energy. Money can kind of do the same thing, but it's just a little bit different. So it makes you think, doesn't it? It makes you think, like, right? But it certainly is different. Money is money is a flow, and people believe, so you could have a belief that money's hard. It's hard to get money. It's hard to get things. That will stop your money flow, because what most people don't realize is money is an energy flow. It's an energy exchange. And we feel bad for buying good things or expensive things or a nice meal. And we forget to remember that this is an energy flow, that my money is going now to the waiter and going to the dishwasher and going to the food distributor. So we put a complete negative belief around the whole system, right? Health is a little bit different, and it's more about your own emotions that you're holding on to and that you're not letting go of. And then it is also part of not being loved, so not being worthy. Both of them will take you all the way back to the fact that of the original, we are not worthy. So,
Beautiful. Thank you so much, April. And as Eckhart says the same thing as well, that we all come from a sense of lacking in completeness. That's the initial, like you could say, right? We are separated from source, and now because of that separation, we come from a sense of lacking in completeness. So there is an inherent discontent, like an unease, not at ease with who we are. And that is what stems as lack. And that lack can be both in health and as well as money. One of the, like my mom used to say all the time, she would say, money does not grow on trees, right? Why are you just spending on this? Or if we lost our lunchbox, she would go, money does not grow on trees. And we got scolded or reprimanded for even, it may be like a $2 lunchbox, but even for a $2 lunchbox, she would like, we would get scolded because she kept saying money does not grow on trees. And then there's a contraction as well, where our, I feel they grew up in an culture where they were very watchful of money. I don't know if all of you experienced that with your parents as well, that they were very watchful of money. Like even one penny, extra, they would be like, oh my God, why did I spend this 1 penny extra? So that that in itself is becomes a contraction that we have it as children, because we've grown up. It is in that what you're saying, April, in our subconscious mind, right? It's imprinted on our soul, in our subconscious mind, that we have a sense of contraction around money. And Louise said, the universe believes what you think and speak, which is true. What we are thinking and believing is becoming what Dr. Joe Dispenza says, our personality is creating our personal reality. So the more contracted we are, the more we are contracted about money, the more we manifest situations where we don't have money. Now I'm not able to pay my bills. I'm not able to pay my rent. I'm not able to I have credit card debt, and then the car gets totaled. And so some people spiral into money problems out of that limiting belief, right? Until they come out of that limiting belief. The other thing you said was about, and I had this thought today as well, that we don't see when we are spending something, we don't see it as, oh, when I spend money, like whether I'm spending it at the grocery store, I'm spending it at the dry cleaners. So many people have told me, why do you get your clothes dry cleaned? Why don't you just wash them yourself? Right? But my mindset is, I am paying somebody, and then they are living, like paying whoever their workers are, as well as live their household, right? So they're feeding their children out of the money that I'm paying them. So it's not that I'm just wasting money going to the dry cleaners. So I feel even that is a contracted state of awareness. Like I see people, since I'm in Texas, the normal like conversations here are, oh, why is the government become so socialistic, right? Why are they giving money away? Yeah, they may or may not be giving money away, but I see the same people when they go to Costco, they will want the free food, right? They would want the buy one get one free sales, right? They won't go, like I go buy the more expensive made in the USA items, just because I want to actually give the labor here more of a chance. They'll go to all these dollar store and buy all these Chinese goods, right? Made in China goods. They're the ones that are doing the cheaper things. Again, that contracted, I don't have enough money. And so I'm going to go to the dollar store. I may not have 200 dresses or 200 outfits. I have maybe 5 or 6, but there's 5 or 6 are good quality clothing, right? That are, so that's how you generate abundance, is by giving out in abundance, by saying, where is my dollar going? Like April was saying, thinking of where the dollar is going, right, April?
So those beliefs around money, all they do stem from your environment. One of the bigger ones that I kind of felt it within my family was that being rich, rich people were not good people.
Oh, wow.
Rich people did
Okay.
not do, they kept their money, they were selfish. It's kind of goes along with, money is the root of all evil. So I had
Oh,
this
yeah.
huge, concept around this that I was taught that I had to undo to allow money to come to me. So it can be numerous different beliefs. And it's different for everybody, but they absolutely, and then my mother, her parents were the ones that came over from Germany. And then we had, times of like recession or depression with her parents and grandparents. So my mother used to wash baggies. she would use a baggie and she'd wash the dang thing. So on the counter was all these baggies set up drying
The
because
grocery
we had
store bag?
no sandwich baggies.
Oh, wow.
She
Okay.
would wash it because we can't waste not one penny.
Oh, the Ziploc, the one
Yeah.
with Ziploc bag?
Mhm.
Okay.
So like I'm growing up with this mentality like, oh my gosh, I got to save every penny and I can't waste any.
Yes.
Right? That is a limiting belief. Again, money is about flow.
Mm-hmm.
Health is about flow of love, self-love. That's what it's about. Money is also about self-love that I deserve, but it's a little different. There's a little bit of a tweak there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm washing baggies for God's sakes. That's what? I remember when I finally would like one year, I was like, I'm not doing this. This is ridiculous. So yeah.
Yeah, I can't even remember like how many things that we had to do. We had to buy grains like in bulk in summer and clean them up for the rest of the year. So we stored like wheat, rice, and lentils because it was cheaper, right? To buy it in bulk and clean it up, and it was like really, really tough. So yeah, when we grow up in that contracted state, then we remain in that contracted state. And the way to get out of it is by doing that initial action of buying something a little bit more expensive. Like don't go to the dollar store. Try not to get your best deal. It's okay to go buy something organic or something more expensive. Look at the label, see if it's made in USA, and buy the label good and see how abundance comes to you. So,
And the same fear and limiting belief is currently being spread with, and I've had some people very close to me tell me that I should go and stock up because I need to be prepared. And I'm like, nope, I don't work like that.
stuck up
Well,
for what?
well, because it's the end of the world
Oh, the
or
inflation.
and I said, you know what, I just don't work like that because to me that's a limiting belief. So if everybody right now is having that fear or that sense of worry or I must prepare, that's a limiting belief. That's a fear state, that's a fear energy. Then what are you going to get? Right? And I just refuse. I'm like, nope, universe has got my back, I'll be okay.
Beautiful. Thank you. You're incredible. Thank you so much for the pointers. Caesar, did you want to take over and continue what April is saying? Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, that was awesome, April. Yeah, so limited beliefs are basically restrictions we put on ourselves by the way we think and even feel. So, and I'm just going to jump right into the law of attraction here because you kind of touched on it a little bit too. So as we grow up, and we grow up in a say middle class to poor, borderline family, we get used to not having that money and buying lavish things, and that kind of creates a momentum as we get older, and we kind of pick up the same trends. And you know, my father was a cement finisher. I'm a cement finisher. However, I do things different today. But the difference is that I don't spend any time on the worrisome of bills, because until I stopped worrying about bills and got into the whole raising the vibrational frequency within myself and feeling as if I had everything I needed in abundance, things changed almost instantly. And it's that way today. And it's got nothing to do with working harder, pinching pennies. Um, I was giving people my last $50, to my sister or a brother. Um, not really thinking about, oh, this is my last $50. They needed it more than I did. And when I made that exchange, it was almost instantaneously the phone would ring and I'd land a job for 5 or 10 grand. And it's still that way, but that is because I lost the limited belief of the, struggling to pay bills, being concerned or worried about how am I going to pay the mortgage this month. That type of stuff, when you are on that end of the stick, meaning you're more focused on the void of having money, that's what's going to keep showing up, is a whole lot of nothing. Until, like you said, when you spend the extra money and your awareness is placed on abundance and gratitude without turning over, the extra $20 on, something that's organic versus not organic, not based on the thought of, I want to save money. No, I want to eat better. And you leave the money aspect out of it and you just do it and you're grateful to do it. That money flow seems to just come right back to you, because that's the way law of attraction works. Gratitude and abundance is the combination that allows everything to manifest. So the limited beliefs are restrictions that we place on ourselves for carrying limited beliefs. They become our, limited truths, and they stop us from obtaining things that we are all deserving of. Now that doesn't mean you got to drive a $100,000 car or live in a 5,000 square foot house. That just means you're comfortable with what you have, and there's no concern about, is the universe going to provide for me tomorrow? I stay in this moment today. I'm just reading this. It's the love of money. Yeah, okay. But yeah, if you stay in the moment, it's hard to have a limited belief, because a limited belief is not something that you could really, well, I guess it could be had in the moment. But I think you'd have to step out of that, because you're focusing on something that you don't have, or that you want, or that you need. The universe knows if you don't have no money and you place your attention on the abundance of anything, it doesn't have to be money, just abundance of air, sunshine, warmth, grass, anything. If you focus on that, that tide seems to turn pretty quick. And as far as the health goes, when we get in our later years, we start feeling the pains and the aches a little more, because that's just the way the life cycle is, just like a car that gets a little, rusty, or the grease isn't so proficient anymore. There's things we can do to rectify these things. I'm sure the medical medium will tell us all about it. But when this starts happening, and then the thought is, man, I just can't do this anymore. My body won't, allow me to do. I hear this all the time from people in my field saying, yeah, I'm just not young anymore, kid. My body just won't allow me to do that. And if they only knew to stop saying that and just believe that you are that guy that you was 20 years ago, your body will respond like it was 20 years ago. I'm living proof of it. I carried that mentality in my 40s after being in the union, cement finishers union, for 20 years. And today I feel like $100. But it's that limited belief that put these type of restrictions. And of course, when you're saying that or thinking that, that's what the universe is going to deliver back to us, is them aches and pains, and your body will slowly be, breaking down in front of your very eyes in the moment. So it's very important to, Lois made a comment there, the universe believes what you think and speak. Absolutely. Words are energy, thoughts are energy. And when you put good energy out, the universe will deliver exactly that back. Remember, the universe is more like a mirror, and it responds to your thoughts, your feelings. Basically, it goes off your vibrational frequency. That's why they say to write things down. The motion of the ink on the pen and the paper is energy as well. You're putting your energy into that. So that is the energy that you are putting out. So think good health. Think I feel good. think whatever's wrong with me, because as soon as somebody gets an ache or pain, especially in our older years, they automatically jump to the extremes, because what happens with the mind when you are not sure of something, the mind will take you to the worst possible situation, whatever it is you're thinking about. I've had a dry throat, and it's hard. I'm raspy in the morning. Oh my God, what if it's cancer? I got to go see a doctor. And people usually jump to the extreme. Whenever you're worried about something or concerned and you keep placing your thought upon it, like I said, the mind will take you to the worst possible situation in that event. And 99% of the times, that never happens. So it's best just to allow things to be as they are, full acceptance. Don't put the energy or the thought or the attention at all on the ailments. Focus on what is good. Um, my heart's still beating at 98 beats per or whatever it's supposed to be. My blood's still pumping good. The air I'm breathing is surely working. Um, and you focus on what's feeling good, and that will help promote better health for whatever ailments you have. Because as we know, we talk about it all the time. When you focus on the ailment, you're turning yourself into a victim, and you're progressing the illness. Um, Most of the time, through stress, will bring out the illnesses and disease and stuff like that within your body. And I'm going to say the majority of all illness is created through stress, and blockages because of the stress. There has been many of people who have literally overcame cancer. I know a gal right now who was diagnosed with stage 4 lymphoma cancer. It has to be 9 years ago. And she got into her journey began the day she found out she had cancer. And she was the wife of a rock star, well known. And he passed away. And she jumped on this amazing journey, and it started with Eckhart Tolle's work. And they are considering her kind of like a miracle in a sense. We know it's not a miracle. I mean, it is a miracle, but it's easily believable. Her cancer cells have not diminished or increased in 12 years. And she has remained unaffected in stage 4 lymphoma cancer. There has been no change to her prognosis. She's not limited because of stage 4 lymphoma cancer. Nobody could understand it, because at that point, that's like a death sentence. Stage 4 is terminal. She lives a normal life, not in a state of illness. It's incredible. And it's all about presence power and losing them limited beliefs, because for years she was bringing that on through the stress. And there was a lot of partying, I'm sure, in her time. And as she got older, she started worrying about all the partying she did. And oh my God, it's catching up to me. And she kept telling herself that. And, this was more than likely the result of it. But what I'm saying is that you have to think healthy and think prosperous financially. And that you will be, in a nutshell. Wholeheartedly, I believe that.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Caesar. I love the example you gave that you gave $50 to your sister or brother, and here comes another contract for $10,000 or whatever. Because I've noticed that about myself. So many people say, "Oh, you're on medical medium and you're doing these supplements, and how many supplements can you do?" Because it compounds, right? They are expensive. Like I think vitamin C is $50. Every supplement is 30 whatever dollars, right?
All you
So
got to do is give them that quick snapshot. Look at you. I mean, the transition you've made in a year is like, I'm
2
baffled every
years.
time I come on it.
Thank
Well,
you.
yeah, it's incredible. So nobody
Thank
should
you.
ever question that.
So what I did 2 years back was start with the basic fundamental supplements, which is zinc and vitamin C. I said, I cannot spend $3,000 or $1,000 on all these supplements that he has a long list, right? So I'll start off with 2. And it just so happened that the next job that I got was, I didn't even ask for a higher salary. I just automatically got a higher salary. I kept putting in my money on the supplements, right? I started the B12, then I started something else. Then I kept adding on to the supplements. And then this year I got another higher paying job. Now that I do almost all the supplements that I need to do, now I got a higher pay. And I kept thinking that I buy organic vegetables, I do all the supplements, and somehow the universe is saying, where you are spending your money, you need to be supported so that you can keep spending your money, right? So I do agree that the universe provides. We can be in a contracted state and say, so many people say, why am I spending $50 on a supplement, right? They don't understand the quality of the supplement and the fact that it's keeping us healthy, right? Not putting us in a hospital bill of $80,000 on a ventilator, right? So it's keeping us healthy. They're not realizing that. The other pointer was, I loved your sickness, the limiting belief around sickness, where you said, if you keep saying, I have this ache and pain, right? I'm getting old. I have this ache and pain. Beautiful, beautiful example. And that's one of the limiting beliefs in nature of personal reality, where people say, oh, I am sickly. The more you say, I am sickly, I am sickly, I'm sickly, that's what, or a lot of people say, oh, that's my genetics. My genetics says I have type 2 diabetes, or I'm going to be diabetic, or I'm going to have a heart problem, right? Genetically, I'm supposed to have a heart problem, but we're going to overcome the genes, right? That's one of the things that Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches is that people think that the genes are inherently, we got it through our hereditary, but he says, no, the environment that we have signals the genes. Our genes don't signal the environment, but what is this environment that we are talking about? When you're looking at your coworker and getting irritated with your coworker, when you're looking at your manager and getting angry about your manager, what kind of environment? As soon as you wake up, you're thinking about getting into traffic and getting irritated about the traffic. You're looking at the news and getting irritated about the government that we have, no matter what kind of government we have, right? The politicians. Look at what is your environment signaling back to you? How are you going to, the moment we look at something and get irritated and angry, whether it's the government, whether it is politicians, whether it is the actors, actresses, the athletes, whatever it may be, we are signaling back. Then the environment is controlling us, and we are down-regulating our genes. We are not up-regulating our genes. And though that upregulation is what is important, and the upregulation happens through the third thing you said, which is gratitude. That we remain in that high level, no matter what the politicians are doing or what the athletes are doing, or why is all the money going to the athletes, or why is the money going to all these politicians, or whatever forget the environment. We have to use the environment to experience gratitude. So then we start to signal, we start to upregulate. No matter what the environment, we are going to upregulate our environment. It's never the external situation that brings out anger or love. You wanted to say something, Caesar, since you're typing?
No, I mean, I was just saying that how you was pointing that out. Sadhguru made an example that, you poke a lemon, you get lemon juice, you poke an orange, you get orange juice. That's because that's what's inside. It's never the external situation that brings that out of us. That's because that's what's inside.
And he also said that why I don't let anybody else control how I think and feel. If I want to feel angry, I'm going to feel angry. If I want to feel, but I won't give another person the control, right, of how I think and feel. So it's almost around that. And I kind of feel like the way Dr. Joe Dispenza and Eckhart are, they experience that gratitude continuously throughout the day. Like they're humble and experience gratitude no matter. Sri Lakshmi says, I agree with you. Thank you so much for joining us, Sri Lakshmi and Summer, online here.
Thank you.
Thank you. So that's one of the things that Dr. Joe Dispenza keeps saying is don't believe that your genes are don't say I have bad genes and that's why I have this illness, whether it's cancer, whether it is what is it, colitis, whether it is whatever, Crohn's disease, no matter what. Between medical medium who believes that we can heal our body, he says, I believe in you and you can heal yourself, to Dr. Joe Dispenza saying exactly the same thing, that you can heal yourself. There is nothing in this world that you cannot heal. And we've done a testimonial today. I posted it, Caesar, of a person having stage 4 cancer, and she completely, she had a complete remission. So, but it's complete meditation. And that's what, you know, it's like the person does meditation to such a level that they pull into their experience a whole different person. Out of the infinite possibilities, there is that one possibility where you're completely healed. And that's the experience you need to pull into your present moment. But beautiful, beautiful guidance. Thank you so much. That's amazing. Thank you, Caesar. Grateful. Michelle, did you want to add something? April and Caesar hit it out of the park. So that's.
I know. You know, when April mentioned when it comes to limiting beliefs around all of this, right? It's your worthiness. It was just resonated right away with me because that's exactly what I believe as well. And then when Caesar mentioned, you know, in terms of health, it has to do with that stress level, right? And even in the example of the video that you posted today, Poonam, with that woman that was, you know, the stress level was studying to be a doctor and getting the diagnosis and having there was just, she was 24-hour stress, right? And so that is also out of control. So, and then when you mentioned, Poonam, about gratitude, and that's where it all lies, right? So I have, I remember when I was 21 and I was working my first real job, and the owner of the company came to me, goes, I want you to do my personal checks for me and pay my bills. And like, I never really wrote a check before. So I said, okay, no problem. And he told me one thing, and I will never forget it to this day. He goes, Michelle, always feel grateful when you can pay your bills. When you have the money in your account that you are able to pay your bills, pay it with gratitude. And, you know, I came from, you know, an immigrant family that had to, like, you know, they lived in a 1-bedroom apartment with my brother and my sister when they were born. And my dad had to work and my mom took care of the kids. And, you know, little by little, you know, they made their way. And, you know, I grew up in a middle-class family, but didn't have a lot of anything, but I had what I needed. And if I wanted something, I was taught the value of work. I think the only thing I would add to this is a sense of balance. I think balance in life is my credo. It's where I try to reside as much as possible. So I believe that there can be a limiting belief around money from a different angle, because money is energy. Can we use that energy to enhance the ego? So are we spending our money frivolously to enhance the ego? Or are we doing it to feed our families, to provide enriching opportunities for our children? So there is a balance there. I think that's really important. You know, my dad would cut coupons, you know what I mean? He would look for a way to save money. He had 3 mouths to feed, and our grandparents lived with us, and they were expensive. So it wasn't like he worked for his money, he earned his money, and he spent it where, you know, and it's not to say that he never went and bought himself. My dad was a garment manufacturer. He made men's pants in Hialeah, which is a suburb of Miami. And, you know, he liked nice shoes and he liked nice socks and he would treat himself, but it wasn't, you know, it had to be Gucci or it had to be a name brand. It wasn't about that. You know what I mean? Because that's enhancing the ego. So when we're investing in that, we're investing in a sense of, you know, I'm attaching to form, right? So I do believe that there's a balance. I've always felt that, I've always come from that place that, you know, you respect work. And when you work, you give your all to it, in the sense that you do it with conscious awareness, with a sense of conscientiousness, right? So when I do there, because I want to put out, not because I want to be praised, but because it makes me feel good when I do the best that I can do. You know what I mean? And I think when you approach life that way, it's kind of a sensible approach, I believe, you know, and that's the middle way. To me, that's my middle way. And it has never led me astray, you know? But we've worked hard, and I just live in that perspective, you know. And when I can give something away, I give it away because it makes me feel good, right? And so with health, again, yes, that's also right. Like you hear those expressions, you know, it's in my genes, or, you know, you see your mother, let's say you see your mother go through, you know, an illness and she's always sickly, and oh my God, I'm going to get it too, you know. And, you know, my mother-in-law that I never met passed away from cancer, and my sister-in-law had breast cancer. So it's 2 generations of breast cancer, and she just had a mastectomy, and she had a traumatic kind of upbringing because her parents were there, and she was like sickly, and she's always carried that always in her. But again, I think gratitude, like even if you're not feeling well or you have an illness, what can I be grateful for? I have energy today, or I slept well today, or just kind of like try to focus on what you do feel good about. So, yeah, there's a lot of limiting beliefs through our family, and conditioning through money, especially, and through health. I think it's, you know, when your emotions are repressed and you're not facing those emotions, that creates toxicity in your body. And I do believe that we can heal I do believe that we can heal ourselves. And I loved that part, Poonam. If anybody hasn't seen that it's a 30-minute clip where Dr. Joe Dispenza stops the woman, and he says, there came a moment where there was doubt, like she was doing it and she had to go through the doubt, and what are you going to feed? Are you going to feed the doubt or the potential? Right? And there's like a moment there, and you got to stop at that moment, and you got to say, I'm going to wholeheartedly trust the potential. And that's where the shift starts. And it's very subtle. And I love that he stopped. I think he emphasized it twice, because our mind does tricks on us, right? It'll come back through the back door and say, well, you know, studies show, and the medical community, and who am I to think that I can right? So Yeah, so it's very, very subtle, and you have to really be mindful of what your own conditioned patterns and what your belief system is, and stop it in its tracks and create like a new pathway to that unlimited belief. And then I kind of just wanted to share something that came up to me when we started the conversation, this quote by Marianne Williamson. Let me see if I can, where did it go? It disappeared. Okay. Okay. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure about you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Michelle, for sharing that. I think Patricia talked about that exact quote. You got it as an inspiration in the beginning of your journey, right? So one of the things that I actually love the same thing that Dr. Joe Dispenza stopped at every point and explained how she actually came about bringing that remission into her potential, right? He does that with a couple of other videos as well. He has quite a few testimonials. And his main teaching is like April was saying, right, Michelle, the emotion, the sickness is caused by emotion, and emotion is our subconscious mind, which is stored in our body. And that's what I've been saying for the past few weeks, that our body will take us, even though our mind, our neocortex is saying we need to do this meditation, and that is what is going to, and we're visualizing and everything, but our body will take us into getting into the external world of getting irritated with the politician, or getting irritated with the children, or getting irritated with the coworker, or getting irritated. So that is what we need to fix, is the external world. And that's why the retreats matter, because we've taken ourselves out of whatever is our normal external world, and he has 7 days to focus on us and keep same thing with Sadhguru, right? Sadhguru always says, come to my ashram and I'll change you. You'll see an immediate change if you come to my ashram. And that's because they have taken you out of your environment. You're not repeating the same thought patterns and the same emotions in your body, and then you recondition your body, because it all depends on reconditioning the body. The second thing, today I was listening to Dr. Joe Dispenza on his monthly Zoom call that he has with all his following. And one of the callers asked about an 18-year-old son that has some kind of like almost spasmodic body movements, right? And she was asking, how do I get him to heal? And he said, why don't you sign up for the coherence healing? They're remote coherence healings that his group does. And he asked her to invest in that. One, she said, bring your son to a retreat, right? One of the advanced retreats or one of the progressive retreats. And the second thing he said is you can try the coherence healings. So it's available to all of you. That check with the website, see if you can get if you are not feeling well, then see if you can get the remote coherence healing. Maybe they say you have to invest in Dr. Joe's meditations for 6 months or whatever they may say, right? But it is
Poonam,
available.
what is that coherence healing? So that's somebody, those other people that are sending energy to you for healing purposes? Is that what that is?
I think he has
Because
a
that
core-
person couldn't do it for themselves.
Exactly. There's a core group of people, his followers, like, and he's going to train all the advanced retreat people. Like some people have been in the advanced retreat like 2 or 3 times, right? They've gone to the advanced. So they have reached a certain level of that they have the power to heal just through meditation, right? So you may get a group of people together, and because it's in the quantum field, right? It's one consciousness. Those people can get together and provide the coherence healing for whoever it is that we are asking the coherence healing for.
Okay. Because I was thinking for Joseph, but you know.
I think it'll work if
Yeah.
you're thinking of it. Write to them, see, explain his situation, explain the physicality, that this is what the issue is, and can he receive coherence healing? And they may say, yeah, he may have to come to an advanced retreat, then you'll have to look at that, the cost of it and everything, and the travel. But yeah.
Okay.
They're,
Thank you.
I think in his advanced retreat, what I've seen online is they call it a cage. They kind of get like maybe 8-10 people, and they train them, they train us, they'll train the attendees, and 8-10 people provide healing to one person, and the healers have already offered their case. Maybe they have like stage 4 cancer, or maybe they're debilitating, they're in a chair, they have some disease that is like far advanced chronic illness, right? Like MS, lupus, and all that. And then the attendees offer healing, and they've been quite a few remissions just in one retreat. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking for, and I'll let y'all know in October as well how it went. I kind of feel like I have a vision that there is somebody in a wheelchair that's going to get healed in my group. I don't know. I already have that vision. I've had that dream a couple of times. So looking forward to it, and that they would go give a testimonial about it too. So let's see. Yes. Thank you, Caesar. And then as far as money is concerned, the other thing that I wanted to, both money and health, what Eckhart says is experience abundance, like look at the world around you and experience, like you can look at the sunshine and say, oh, I feel so abundant. I feel the abundance of the sunshine. Or look at the leaves and say, I look at the greenness, the vitality and vibrancy of the green and the leaves, and I feel abundant. Or he says, go to a grocery store and look at the leaves and all the leafy greens and all that, feel the abundance. Then he says, okay, if you're not able to, you don't have mobility, then maybe one part of your body is not working. Maybe your right leg is not working. Look at the other parts of your body and see where it is working, right? And that means even in nature of personal reality, Seth says, that means your beliefs are working in the other parts of your body. It's just not working in your right leg, right? Because your other parts of your body are healthy. It's just your right leg that your belief is not working. So Eckhart says, focus on the rest of your body. What was I going to say? I think that was it. This part. The other limiting belief that we have, Caesar and April and Michelle, is we give our power away to the doctors. We think the doctor knows, right? And in the case of chronic illness, especially, I don't think the doctor knows. And that's where medical medium is fighting that battle, right? Because he gives out so much information about chronic illness, that how to heal from chronic illness. So we give our power away to the doctor, and we start to believe whatever the doctor is saying is the right thing that needs to be done, right? That go on the ketogenic diet or go on the high protein diet or whatever it may be. Then you're giving another person, and this is something that Seth says, and I think Patricia is reading Nature of Personal Reality. Seth says we are giving, you know, that is what the shamanic ritual is where the shaman is actually using your own personal power to snap you out of that trance of what exactly what Dr. Joe Dispenza is saying, right? That the shaman is trying to get you to snap out and immediately recover you, right? Get into remission. But you're not going to believe that the people who go through the shamanic ritual believe in that and get healed. But then you give your power away. There's one instance of this that you know that the shaman will heal you. And there's another non-believer that will go and give their power away, that whatever my doctor is saying is the right thing. And until the doctor believes in my healing, and if the doctor gives a diagnosis, you have 5 days to live or 2 years to live, we are believing them, right? And all of Dr. Joe Dispenza's remissions are people who did not believe their doctors. The doctor may have given them a, go ahead, Caesar. You've been nodding.
No,
your head.
finish what you were saying, please.
No, that
I'll
was
wait
it.
for you.
That was it.
Yeah. You know, many times, I'm sure more so than not, when a doctor tells somebody you have 6 months to live, once they believe that, that 6 month is probably hit right on the head, opposed to the contrary, where somebody just absolutely not. Like, there's how many cases we've seen where I know people personally that the doctors told them they'd never walk again, and they're out there jogging today. So yeah, absolutely. Yep. And a healer doesn't actually heal you. They just get you in the state of allowing to heal.
Yes.
And I know a lot of the things repeated in the healing are the words they get you to repeat, I am light and I am love. And that's taken the whole I'm sick thing away. I just wanted to pitch it.
Perfect. Thank you. I wanted to, I think there was something that, Kimberly said, money is not evil, it's the love of money. Timothy 6:10, for the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. I think when April said money is the evil, right? So Kimberly was correcting us. But whether it's love of money, I've heard the money is the root of evil as well. So thank you. Thank you, Caesar. Thank you, Michelle. Patricia, you want to wrap it up?
Yes, thank you. That was really cool
Thank
talk.
you.
It was really fun because it really is very universal. When you realize we all have those beliefs, limiting beliefs, and actually there was, I think, another talk with, I am very bad with names. That's probably my limiting beliefs too. I always paid attention to the message, and I have difficulty on remembering, because it's almost feel like whatever someone says, it's so universal, it's hard to attach ownership of that saying to that one person, and my mind just like remembering the message but not really. But then it's the
Patricia, you just said I'm terrible with names.
I know.
Perhaps stop saying that. You won't.
I'm just saying. Oh wow, this is how you're catching yourself, by saying something and really like, I'm not, because I remember so many names. Like, okay, so it's good. That being said, it's good to actually, I think it might be useful to ask someone else, what do you think my limiting beliefs are? Because it might be more difficult to find out your own, because they become almost like your nature. You identifying with them, so you don't see them as something, that it's inherited. You just feel them like this is you, right? So it might be good to ask. And I know that, like we just find out, just being with you, and Poonam pointed out a few of my limiting beliefs. And yeah, I had other exercises that I did about limiting beliefs to find out. And even looking, I actually have an interesting growing up situation, because my father was born right after the war, the Second World War in Poland, and he was the oldest of 3 siblings. The father was a gambler, the mother was sick. So he basically had to take care of everybody, and very fast he became very resourceful. And up to this point, already retired, he's constantly making money because he needs the security and safety and control of it, because he doesn't want his world to fall apart. He wants to be in full control. He's also, he has the narcissism, he has the bipolar, a lot of other stuff. So I grew up with him as a father telling me that I need to deserve, and then he's gonna give me the pocket money. But guess what? I was not allowed to spend it. So, right, just looking at it, and there was like, how can I have a joy of doing if I'm supposed to just look at them grow? And he actually was punished, yeah, because when the Berlin Wall collapsed, he started investing in the Warsaw Stock Exchange because he accumulated so much money, right? And then he lost it. He went crazy. That was, I think, like a really gift for him. It's like, what good all this money is? You just let it there, then you just gamble it and you lost it. And all your hard work for over the years, resourcefulness, you didn't use them for anything good. So the universe took it away from you and gave it to someone that could actually build something, see the world, travel, I don't know, right? But it didn't teach him much. So after that, he started again making, and I see that now, that he needed money to control other people and his environment. And guess what? It's really the money controlling him. He is a slave. He can't retire because he constantly has to work to make more, I was a beneficiary of this. Yes, I must say, so I'm very grateful for it, because he helped me paying for my daughter's college, which I wouldn't be able to do without him, but at least I felt like that money is going towards something good. So I just, accepted it. And I actually asked, even though I was surprised that he gave it to me, because, he thinks that me coming to America was a huge mistake. Marrying my ex-husband, was a huge mistake because he doesn't know how to make money. And the only worth for my dad of a human being is to make money, not how he spends them, but how he makes them. So there's a little bit of ethics there. He's not really, but he's very resourceful, but he's not putting it in the good use. And then on the other hand, I had my mom. She is so generous, such a loving, everything grows, the flowers grow with beauty, everything she touches, the animals love her. It's like wonderful. And whatever money she has, she spends, because like, I'm not gonna take them to grave. Like, go ahead, just here, you want to say. So I was just like, which way to go? So that balance, maybe that Michelle was talking about, that, it's okay to make money and, but spend some and save some, maybe to have like that healthy relationship, I guess. So you do have enough for things you need, but you also treat yourself. And this way allow like other people to be beneficiary of the money, because you use their services, you use their products that they make to buy for them, so from them. So I'm not sure, the like limiting beliefs, there are plenty of. But yes, very important, I think, to ask someone else sometimes to point your limiting beliefs, because it's hard to know them all by yourself. But it's good to take that inventory and then write it on the piece of paper. And then whatever it is, just turn it around. It's like, if I have to save money because I might not have enough, maybe then saying, what, it's okay to spend some money and treat yourself, because there's plenty of money to come around, and really starting to introduce, different beliefs in your mind. Also, I have, when I put my, open my Google Gmail account, I saw someone Gmail had a quote underneath the name. And I was like, that's actually a cool idea. So when you write the email to someone, it's nice to have something that actually resonates with you, to spread it around. And I was looking for different quotes because I love quotes. There's so much meaning in them for me. And that was a time when I really liked Einstein. I mean, I still like him. I think he was as much spiritual as he was a scientist, if not more. But I found this one, none of that fun stuff, but this one. 100 times every day, I remind myself that my inner and outer life are based on the labors of other people, living and dead, and that I must exert myself in order to give in the same measure as I have received and still receiving. Albert Einstein. So that was incredible for a man that was really keeping mostly to himself. He actually felt that even if he just sits in his house, and not that like the table he sits at, the instrument he plays, the pen he uses, it's like it's still done by other humans. And inventions of like airplanes, right? We owe them to be able to fly today. We owe these people before us. And it's just being like together in all of this incredible creativity and labor and just community of service. Just, I guess we have a nature to serve. So even if we do our work, not for the money, just to have money and pay the bills, but just to serve, then the money kind of naturally comes out of that, right? Because it's the natural flow, becomes a flow of energy. So yes, that's a big one. And I think it's good for everyone to just, have a minute or more than a minute to figure out their limiting beliefs are about money, and help the same. I started with Louise Hay book, You Can Heal Your Life, years back. I was in my 20s. And I was shocked that, when she put that disease is that dis-ease. So if we don't have an ease with our life, the flow of love and gratitude and compassion and stuff, then disease are being born. Like parts of our body, depending what limiting belief we actually carry the energy of, then this part of body will start to suffer. And she said that, okay, even if you need to use a doctor or surgeon for something acute, but then if you don't heal that emotionally, then you're gonna just go back to your disease afterwards. It's just will be keep we're doing, even if modern medicine can help with a pill or a surgery, but it has to go together with change of that belief towards, and that's why I love medical medium, that after each podcast, after each live, like he said, I believe you can heal. I believe in you. Because we need that confidence. And in the beginning, we need to borrow it from someone else. Like, if I don't have enough yet, if someone tells me, I believe in you, something is being, like shaken. And it's like, wow, it's possible. And then slowly but surely, because to tell you the truth, in the beginning, when I had to say affirmations, Louise had affirmations, I was saying them, but I did not believe in, like, I was saying something, I love my life. In the meantime, it's like, I just want to die. I don't know why I'm here. So, it's like, I'm saying something and my mind already said, that's bullshit. So that's why it didn't work. I could just repeat it, like, over. It just had to really change something else also, not just repeating. I mean, the words have energy, but also if you don't believe in them, that doesn't go much too far. So gratitude is definitely the one that was a huge turnaround for me, and accepting and actually trusting that this all some universal intelligence knows better, and I'm here, to learn something and maybe change all those beliefs that I was just given, and I'm not even aware of them. So yes, and I'm really grateful for other humans to throw it in my face. Be a mirror, like Ken says all the time. We are mirrors for each other.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Patricia. Thank you. It's like, I think in the book Nature of Personal Reality, and even Eckhart has used the same quote, saying, every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. And you're not feeling it, so you're not getting better and better.
Right. So Tony Robbins adds the movement of a body to kind of with energy to really like do something, with the body to really
change the state, peak state.
Yes, embedded it physically in you, not just staying and saying it without any emotion.
And that's why Dr. Joe Dispenza has a meditation, reconditioning your body to a new mind, so that the emotion of gratitude, we may say I'm grateful, but is that emotion actually set in your body? Is the emotion, are you feeling it from your body? Like every pore of your cell of your being experiencing gratitude, no matter what is going on. You have a debilitating illness and you're still pouring out gratitude, or you're still pouring out, I'm an unlimited genius. How are you going to feel divine? How are you going to feel inspired, magnificent? How do we feel, experience all of that, right? So that's what continuously.
But it's good. Yeah, it's good to start with something. Yeah, it's good to start with something, because if I was saying it and I felt that I didn't feel it, something to, let's look into it. Why is it not flowing out of me? Why is it so hard for me? For the longest time, anybody that asked me, how are you? My first instinct was to start complaining. Oh, I didn't feel good. I'm tired. It's like, because that's the Polish way. Everybody in Poland, you have to outdo yourself when you're having conversations, how bad you have. That's just the cultural thing. So when I came here and everybody's, I'm great, how are you? And so I was like, that's not true. They cannot be feeling good. Must be something wrong. They're lying to themselves. Like, what's wrong with these people? Why do they think they're fine? They're not fine. There's nothing fine about it.
Edith says that we can have little money if you're grateful, there's enough to share, because abundance is within. My mom used to say we can't eat money, which is true. And then Louise said, Poonam, same here. I don't even work, but it flows to me. The money flows. I'm trying to read all the. Sandhya said, very good discussion. I agree. Everyone has limiting beliefs, and I'm glad we are able to recognize them. Whenever I hear someone in my family generalize it around genetics, it is hard to listen. Thanks, everyone on the panel. So one of the questions you asked, Patricia, was how can we ask another person to look at our limiting beliefs? That one question I would have for April and Caesar as well, but my way of knowing my limiting beliefs is my experience of this present moment. I'm going to examine the experience of the present moment and see, is it a conditioned pattern? Am I seeing a pattern in my experience? Like, am I seeing the same kind of loss? Like, okay, so, like I was saying a little while ago, right? Like somebody's car, they're not able to pay their bills. It's like a spiral. The pattern is a spiral, right? They're not able to pay their bills. They are not able to pay their rent. Money's a struggle. Something happened to their car now. Like they're calling into work and they're not able to make it to work. And then something is happening with their house, right? Their dishwasher is overflowing, or something happened with their washer dryer, or constant. Then you have to look, oh, what is the belief in me that is causing that external situation? Or they go on a trip, constantly they find irritating things when they're going on a trip, right? You can have the most peaceful trip depending on your inner state, no matter what, whether you get the rental car or not get the rental car, or you get your flight is canceled or delayed or not get delayed, right? Things can happen, but how you deal with it is what will determine.
Do we also look at like beliefs that actually working in our life, or we really just concentrate on the limiting beliefs? Because the other ones, I mean, if I have great belief that, you know, everybody's going to be okay, I really don't have to look at it, right? Because it's just a
Right,
good
the
belief.
ones that are working,
Serve, yeah.
they're working for you. You don't need to look at them. But what we need to heal is the condition that is the karmic. These are the karmic accumulation that we have since we were little. April and Caesar, do y'all have anything else to add? How do we look at our limiting beliefs? The question that Patricia raised.
I was just going to head down the same avenue that you were, Poonam, that limiting beliefs, they do come from your society, your culture, your upbringing. They are planted in the age 0 to 7. And if you want to find them, you can do many exercises to find them. But looking at the patterns in your life and looking at the repeated patterns in your life, looking at many of your struggles that you have. So for me in my lifetime, I have a lot of things happen in my life, and I don't necessarily know that it's all my beliefs, because it literally becomes almost like a web when I have multiple people in my life. Like I've got all these cords from all these other people too. So, however, money was a big thing in my life. Money was a huge issue for many, many years in my life, until I figured out that money is energy, money is a flow, that having money is not bad, that me buying something helps somebody else. But it's for so many years, like I would just either not have money. And I've had times in my life where I could go to the store and I could buy bread or milk, but I couldn't buy both because I didn't have enough money. right? That's a limiting belief. Like, I've got a serious money issue. And then things would kind of even out, and then it would come right back. So repeated issues, repeated patterns usually hold some sort of limiting belief because you haven't corrected the belief. Therefore, it continues. Universe is so nice to us and manifested again.
Give us
Right?
opportunity to finally, yes, work on it.
Yeah, so that's another way to really, and it's kind of like you said, it's kind of the same thing like Ken with the mirror, putting the mirror up, looking at your everyday life, looking at manifestations in your life, looking at repeated issues or problems. Those will all help you find limiting beliefs. Anywhere that you shut down emotionally usually has a limiting belief. So if you shut down in certain areas in relationships or certain situations, you just kind of shut down. It's usually because there's a fear, and that there's a fear, there's a limiting belief.
Yeah, I do sometimes find myself withdraw myself. It's like, fine, I'll be okay by myself. It's like, if I don't, someone
Yeah.
doesn't appreciate me, or maybe something, someone doesn't notice me for something I did. I don't do
Yeah.
it to be noticed, but kind of, I guess maybe I do, because then if they don't, then the first thing is like, fine, so I'm not gonna do it again. It's like, it wasn't worth it. So there is
Yeah.
still, this comes up a little bit still. I thought I was done with it,
Yeah,
but
well, there's layers to things. Remember, we've talked about how there's layers to things. Literally, it's like Shrek with that movie Shrek. It's an onion. There's layers, right? And there's many things, many beliefs that I thought I've certainly healed this, and it will resurface in a little bit of a different way years later. I had this happen last year, and I was like, seriously, you cannot be coming back around. And it was just a deeper level of it. So, but all of those things will show you, and it's not perfection, right? It's a journey. So you may spend your life here and you may still have a limiting belief or two. That's okay, because we're not looking for perfection. We're looking for the
And
journey.
I
isn't
have a
some-
question
Mhm.
Go ahead, Michelle.
regarding this. Yeah, because the conversation is multifaceted. So where does action come in, or lack of action and responsibility on the plane of this human existence, right? Because you have a belief system, whether it's limiting or not limiting, but you have to take action and responsibility for that action or lack thereof. Because some people don't have money because they don't work, they don't want to work, they have no income coming in, right? I think you have to put your part, put some energy into manifesting it, not just on this plane. I know there's multiple planes, but I think in the practical, because I always tend to come down also to the practical level, you have
Depends
to
on who
take
you're working
steps.
with. It depends on who you're working with and their state of consciousness, their level of consciousness. There have many people that I've worked with in my time as being a counselor that they really truly are not capable of working. They're really not. And you can have a belief that they are, but there are numerous people I have worked with, they are not capable of holding a job. They're not. So yes, they are poor, and yes, that is because they're not working. So those are the situations where we have to teach them to manage what they have and to be grateful, practice gratitude. But yes, there is if you are on this road and you are watching this channel, this page, then you're on this road. And if you find a limiting belief, you should try to work on it. However, there are times where you may go to work on a limiting belief and nothing. You're not making any movement. You're stagnant. That's fine. That's not a place for judgment. Oh, I can't seem to get rid of this. I'm not working hard enough. No, it means you and your soul you and your higher self are not ready. It'll come back around when it's time. So, but yes, if you are evolving, then it is good to at least try. And then there is an action that you take, or a behavior you change, or a meditation you do, or a healing, whatever.
The same thing with health, right? People that have poor health because they partake in, behaviors that aren't healthy for them, whether it's not sleeping or overeating or over drinking or smoking or addiction. These substances will, they're not the best for you. So they're going to eventually take a toll to your body, right? So we do have to take some action in obviously the belief is important, but I think in a practical way, we have to take some steps to remedy our health or to remedy, right? That's
If
why
they
you do
don't love
medical medium.
themselves, yeah, if they don't love
The
themselves, they
worthiness,
won't.
the worthiness, yes.
But first you got to, I think, change that and see that, because if they covering, if they're covering a certain belief to just prove it with an action, with like addiction or something, then the addiction itself will actually have a chemical also, chemically will start also being addictive. So now you're not only, I guess, trying to release the mind part of it, emotional, but also now physical. People go to those, how they actually have to be physically withdrawn of ability to get those, because if they left alone, they will do anything to get it back, because the body is just begging for it, to have a relief.
It alters the human cells is what it does. Addiction actually alters the human cells. It alters the homeostasis within the body. The body now thinks it has to have the drug to maintain homeostasis, which it doesn't, but it now thinks it does. So it will do whatever it has to get it, because now it has to have that chemical, because the cells have been altered.
And does Joe Dispenza works with addiction still, or just physical?
I think he
He kind
has
of-
some addictions. Yeah. Yeah, he's worked with, he has some people.
Alcohol addiction, smoking addiction, any kind of addiction.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the answer is in presence power, right? But Eckhart does not
Yeah.
teach how do you get to that presence power. Dr. Joe Dispenza is teaching us how to get to that level of presence power where you can heal. Caesar,
What
you
do
wanted to
you
say?
mean he doesn't? He said through stillness.
Yeah, but there is no prescribed method, right? Eckhart doesn't say sit in meditation for 4 hours, or he doesn't say, okay, do a walking meditation. Okay, change your belief. Eckhart
did
doesn't say it.
says-
All he says is look at your sense perceptions and focus on your sense perceptions. And how many people have the attention span to actually focus on their attention span to raise their vibrational frequency? We would have had a healed planet. He had 2 million followers. If 2 million people would have focused their energies, we don't.
Well, I
Right.
think he says, start small, focus on your toes, focus on your leg, focus on your breath. Like he doesn't have like the extensive program that Joe Dispenza has, but he does say, okay, well, now let's just focus on your feet. Let's pull our mind away from all this noise. We're just going to go right down here to your toes. So that's how he does it. And I noticed that Eckhart is talking a lot more about energy and dimensions, a lot more about that lately. So, but you're right. The answer is presence power. The answer is knowing that you're fully worthy and valuable, that you are all possibility and you are source. That's the answer. However, you have to remember that you're a soul on a journey, and while all things are possible, you still have a plan. You still have
But
a
is
soul
that a
plan.
limiting belief?
You know what? I think it could be, but for right now, the way things are on planet Earth, there's a soul planet connected with being here on Earth.
That's not what Dr. Joe would say. Dr. Joe would
Probably
say
not.
no matter what is going on with planet Earth, no matter what is happening with the what is it? What goes Mercury going into retrograde?
Oh, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about incarnation onto Earth.
Right.
Not like what's going
No,
on in
what
Earth,
I'm saying
but
is
having to come to Earth.
Mhm. He would say no matter what, you can.
No, because you have a soul's plan. That's not true. You could do Joe Dispenza meditation for every day 24/7, but if it's in your plan for you to go back home, you're going back home.
I mean, eventually
gone.
we all die. So, I mean, even if you meditate that you're going to live eternity, can you live eternity through?
It's
Is that a
not so much
limiting
as
belief? I don't know. I
Mhm.
mean,
it's
so
not
what?
so much
No.
as the meditation is not to live in eternity. The meditation is if you are you have a sickness, chronic illness, to heal. And if you want to do any kind of abundance, invitation for abundance and transformation, it's more about experiencing those mystical experiences, right? Fifth dimensional experiences. Can you, do you want to experience the fifth dimensional experiences? That's what he's saying. Is
Yeah.
I guess
no matter who you are, no matter what background you are, no matter how sick you are, no matter how poor you are, you can have those fifth dimensional experiences. And by the time you have that fifth dimensional experiences, something will change, because that's what will bring in abundance. That is what will bring in the healing as well.
but that
No
maybe
matter what.
what April said, that if you don't have that contract, maybe you won't even stumble upon Joe Dispenza healing, or you're not gonna
Right.
Maybe.
let it go. Exactly. You will probably, or even you just do it, it's like, no, I'm not doing it, or that's not gonna work for me. And
Right.
yeah,
You'll start that limiting belief, like what Michelle was talking about, right? That people can start doubting themselves as they're doing the work and introduce a limiting belief. That's why reconditioning the body, the beginning is reconditioning the body not to experience those emotions. The emotions of the past. The emotions of the past are the anger, the frustration, the how do you make sure that your body does not respond in frustration? How do you make sure, no matter what, your body does not respond with anger, right? Because that's where the body is going to pull us. The fear, the panic attacks, the anxiety, the depression. That's where the body is going to pull us.
I think, and Joe said that we know, we can notice like what emotion we're having, and we can control ourselves in the moment, but we have no idea how to complete that cycle to get that emotion out. So it stays, yeah.
Caesar, you wanted to say something?
I mean, just the question was, how
How do
can we
figure
tune
out?
in on
Mhm.
limited beliefs? Pay attention to what's showing up in your life, more so, right? And figure out your point of attraction, and because that's everything's about momentum as well. And the longer you have a
yeah, but
belief,
how can you know if this is for you norm, if it's a norm? Like, how do
it,
I know?
are you enjoying it, or are you
There
reluctant?
you are. Got it.
Doing whatever it is you're doing
Do I
willingly
look
is
done?
and peaceful, or is it not peaceful? And
So
if
there
it's
you go. It's the feeling that go in your body and see if.
and then Michelle talked about the responsibility. At what point do we take action? And everybody said the two words 100 times tonight. What is your response? Going to be? What is your ability to the situation to change it? If you're not comfortable with the same repeated things showing up, you could probably pinpoint a limited belief to it. But now, what ability do you have to change that? Now, once you understand your ability, what is your response going to be to the ability that you possess? That's what responsibility is. So, yeah, pay attention to what's showing up and make the change.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Caesar.
Thank
And
you.
what I would say, Michelle, the human being that is not taking responsibility, right? They may take another lifetime, or they may take another 10 lifetimes. They'll reincarnate again. And then at one, but we know the truth, right? Like we know all our suffering, all of us that have broken open, our suffering broke us open, and we took the responsibility. If we were in a one-bedroom house with 5, 6, 7 people living, we came out of that one-bedroom house and lived in a bigger home, right? So we did our action. So each human has that potential. That's what Dr. Joe is saying. That's what Eckhart is saying. Be our infinite potential. So know thyself. That's why know thyself is so important. And if they take action, they can turn around the belief and slowly change from being homeless or not having enough money to actually bringing about money. Because I've been in the same situation as April. I remember in 1989, we were students, we ran out of money, and the universe always provides if you have trust, right? So we ran out of money, and I was doing laundry, like, you know how you look in the couch and look for quarters in the couch, in the cushions of the couch, and then you get 2 quarters. Okay, I can run one wash and one dryer cycle, so I can do one thing. And we applied to American Express, the only credit card that we could apply for as immigrants. And we got the American Express card. And in 1989, the only place that would accept an American Express card was a gas station. I don't know if you'll remember, in 1989, regular grocery stores did not accept American Express. It was used for travel, or gas stations accepted it. So we went, bought salt, oil from a gas station, like the convenience store in a gas station, so that we could cook the next few days. And then my ex-husband went and he got a job in Massachusetts somewhere, and then he earned money, and then he sent the money. So, you know, things support us. Eventually things do support us. And I remember we just ate boiled lentils and rice because that's all we could cook with that oil and little oil, and we didn't have money for vegetables. But the universe always supports us, is what we need to know. Like I had posted, right? If Jesus said, if God clothes flowers with so much beauty, how much more will God do for you? I think that principle applies. It always keeps us supported. This was incredibly amazing. And Louise and Kimberly and Edith and everyone, Summer and Sri Lakshmi are here, and they've been going on online with comments. So grateful, eternally grateful to all of you for this. Many blessings, much love. Good night.
Thank you.
Have a fantastic day. Thank you, Sri Lakshmi. Bye.